Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Chris. This is my channel, Comic Tropes. Typically, I'll do edited videos. Every once in a great while on this channel, I'll do an impromptu live stream like this. I thought I would bust out a fresh brush pen that I just bought and do some inking. It is really late at night, my local time. It's just past midnight. I've been working on editing the latest episode of Comic Tropes, which should be ready pretty soon. But as I was doing that, I found out that, sadly, a really important artist and writer, mangaka, named Akira Toriyama, has passed away unexpectedly, only age 68. And he was actually in the news this week, just sort of talking about the fresh crop of talent out there. He's still been working on developing stuff, and so this was unexpected. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you probably at least know what he's created. Very famous for creating Dragon Ball. The manga, obviously, the anime is very well known here in the West. I'll be honest. I haven't watched the anime. I've read some of the manga, and I really like a series that he did before that called Dr. Slump. But it's hard to overstate how important he was as a creator. Very, very popular. Sold a lot of manga. Made many anime series, and yeah. Some people are starting to filter into the chat. Welcome. It's pretty late my time, but maybe we're getting some folks from Europe or Asia or something in here. I'm not sure, but yeah. Rest in peace to one of the originals. I love manga, and Dragon Ball inspired almost every Shonen Jump title since. Yeah. He is on record as saying the first manga he read, I'm speaking about Toriyama Sensei at this point, is Astro Boy made a huge impact for him. And definitely talked about that one on my channel before. Haven't discussed in any detail Toriyama's legacy or Dragon Ball yet. Yeah, we lost the legend. Very sad day. What a legend, a true pioneer of manga and beyond. Certainly came up when manga really exploded in a wave of popularity. Dr. Slump was, I think, 1980 to 1984, and Dragon Ball started somewhere around 83, I want to say. 1983. Should we expect a Comic Tropes episode on this great man? I wouldn't say to expect that imminently, just to set expectations. I feel like I'd need to research more of his work before I felt like I knew enough to really make a deep dive analytical episode, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it would really just be maybe looking at Dr. Slump right now. But if any of you have memories or feelings about Toriyama and his work, please share it, and I'll do as much as I can to sort of share comments in here. Yeah, I know it's really late. You should be sleeping. I just finished beating DBZ Kakarot. It was awesome. Well, congratulations. That's good. Hello. I was really into Dragon Ball, but Akira Toriyama was a name that you know regardless if you're a fan or not. I think that that's absolutely true. Yeah. I still can't believe he's passed away. As a Latin American, I can't even begin to describe how beloved Dragon Ball is over here. Sorry about my cat meowing. So I was going to just sort of try to ink this little bit of Goku, and we'll see what happened. Involved in the Dragon Quest video games. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. See, this is why I don't think I could quite do an episode yet. That's a piece of info that I didn't know. Yeah, I said that. Let's see. It doesn't matter whether you were into Dragon Ball or not. Dig through anything you love and you'll find his influence. No question. Yeah, I really loved how he drew mechanical stuff. He's really good at vehicles and showing them sort of like being taken apart and stuff. Oh, just lots of really cool stuff there. Yeah. Uh, Thank you for the super chat. Wasn't expecting that tonight. Let's see. I had surgery on Tuesday and I'm recovering. Decided to watch Dragon Ball that night. Just woke up to this horrible news. May he rest in peace. No question. Oh, wow, Harry. Harry, lovely to see you, my friend. Harry Partridge, who just released a great animated episode of his show, Starbarians. That's obvious. That's not why we're here, but since he's here, I thought I'd mention it because great animator. He's a huge, huge inspiration. I'm not surprised to hear that, Harry. When it comes to his aliens and his technology, I feel like I can believe that there's an influence in your work. That's really interesting. Your stuff is a lot more fluid than the Dragon Ball, but that's not a knock on Dragon Ball. I think we all know, that it was sort of uh, started as a bit of a more of a budget sort of series. His work is everywhere. Chrono Trigger is my favorite. I can't keep up with all the chats. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I just can't keep up with it all. That's I didn't expect hardly anyone in here. Favorite artist of all time. Have the issue of America with his interview. He revealed how he came up with everything from Kamehameha to Super Saiyan. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, pretty sad. Let me just actually get started on some of this inking. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't necessarily consider myself like a massive fan or anything, and at the same time, this one took me by surprise and hit me kind of hard. But maybe some of that is just how unexpected it was, because he's sort of been in the news and he was still so active. Just wild to come across something like this. And again, if you haven't been on the channel in a while, I have recorded and I'm currently editing a new episode, so that's coming. But I just thought we'd take a minute here at night to sort of doodle around and talk about Toriyama. I still remember seeing Dragon Ball Z for the first time as a kid back on Toonami. I'm sure a lot of people did. I read the whole Dragon Ball manga for the first time over the course of these past 2 years. By far my favorite manga, and I hope to dig into Dr. Slump real soon. I think you'll like Dr. Slump, yeah. Akira Toriyama, the mangaka behind things like Dragon Ball, Dr. Slump, and much more, passed away. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, MNNM. Maybe the most talented illustrator in manga. The man basically shaped my personal interests. He, very beloved, very beloved. He had a really clean style, and he could do everything from cute to action, which is a lot of versatility. Arale from Dr. Slump, super cute character, and yet he have these huge battle scenes, these huge fight scenes in Dragon Ball. I mean, that when you think, I think Shonen Jump alone, you think of that, and I think you think of Akira Toriyama's work. He's made his name synonymous with shonen, in my opinion. In my opinion. Let's see. Thank you for having brought us a little more fun in our lives. I'm sure you're saying that to him. Yes, yes. It's amazing how his writing evolved from a pervy comedian to an action story icon. He's Toriyama is an iconoclast. Read about his life story if you haven't. And he started. He was trained as an artist, and he got a job in advertising at first. And he did that for a few years, but he really didn't like it. He said he wasn't a morning person and he'd show up late. He says that he dressed too casual. Those are things that you just can't do in an office environment in Japan. They're way more strict than we are even here. So, it's good that he ended up where he did, where he could do a little bit more in terms of setting his own schedule and and dictate where he wanted his life to go. Good for him. Good for him. I think that that's awesome. I think that that really stands out though as in Japan. I think that that would really stand out, just sort of being bad at following the rules and showing up on time and dressing right. I can only imagine what kind of a reaction that was getting from his superiors. So, and then he just, broke in like a lot of people do by submitting a fan entry to Shonen Jump. A lot of credit should go to his longtime editor, and I'm trying to remember his editor's name. Kazuhiko something. I'm thinking. Kazuhiko. I think Torishima. Kazuhiko Torishima, I'm pretty sure, is the name of his long-term editor. So helped guide a lot of what he's done. Oh, okay. Yep. Thank Kazuhito? I think it's Kazuhiko, but I could be wrong. Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's literally less than a month from turning 69 too, but yeah. He did. I don't know exactly what happened. Well, like I say, I haven't watched the anime. I've just read some of the manga, so I really wouldn't be able to say, but that is a fair question for the rest of people here, whether they've got a favorite episode or anything. I have to admit that I kind of like the early stuff in the story where it's, Goku following a little bit more of like the Chinese story Journey to the West, and he's like, he's on a quest as compared to sort of like, it evolved into being a battle series fighting like powerful aliens. I kind of like the earlier stuff a little bit more for what that's worth, but I wouldn't call myself the biggest expert. So take that with a grain of salt. I need to educate myself more. I recommend a reread. Truly timeless art. Well, that's true. And that's kind of another cool thing about his work is that I really don't think any of it looks dated at all, which is so cool. Anyway, I'm just going to draw kind of fast, I think, because I don't think that I'll get this perfect no matter what. It is late. I'm kind of tired. But we'll see what I can do if I just sort of try to go at it fast. Maybe it'll actually give it some energy, which I want it to have because, it's supposed to be like, all the energy exploding and everything. Who's like Daniel Warren Johnson? I wish. I hope he will be missed. It's good to be missed. Missed and feeling sad and stuff is a good thing in a way because it means that you're being remembered and that you were loved and by many, not just family and friends. I think yeah, I think that like tomorrow when a lot of people in America anyway are waking up, that this is going to hit pretty hard. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is one of those sort of rare. There's a lot of popularity, first of all, in manga in general over here, but Dragon Ball is one of those like rare examples that like was a crossover hit with the audience in the West, uh, where a lot of things aren't. A lot of things don't necessarily translate, but this one definitely did. Let's see. He truly changed my life in ways that I can't comprehend. Gohan obliterating Cell with the father son Kamehameha is one of the greatest moments in fiction for me. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Everyone is making tribute art, music, animation, and comics for Toriyama's passing. He's a prodigy, like many others, that has made wonderful change for the betterment of the world. There's definitely something to be said about, like just good entertainment where good battles evil and there's growth of spirit and knowledge and wisdom, and it's a lot of positivity. Boy, I don't know when I could fit all that in, but I'd like to. I haven't watched the anime nor read the manga, but I know this was a huge loss in terms of creatives. His work was so influential. Yes, no question. I'm sure that if we were to read a sampling of the manga in Shonen Jump today, there would be tons of artists who would be talking about how Toriyama is one of their big influences. No question. It's fun to draw an overly buff guy like this because usually I try to keep a lot of my proportions a little more realistic. And with Dragon Ball, like the fun is go ahead and exaggerate it at that point, and that's cool. That's why some characters like over here, like the Hulk, remain timeless. It's fun to draw buffed out stuff. Help pave the way for JRPGs by being the character designer for Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I bet that he's a relatively early example of a manga artist being such an important crossover influence to video games. I bet you're right. Hmm. It's an interesting thing to think about. So it's a little sad, but hopefully, just even for a few minutes here, hanging out with each other to reminisce about an artist that we like, it helps give a tiny bit of closure in terms of feelings since we didn't know him. Taking a comics history class right now in college, and we just finished discussing Manga Mania when it hit the comic scene. We had to read Akira's works, and it makes me sad reading today's news. Akira's art is as iconic as Bruce Timm. Sure, yeah, I could definitely see that. His Dragon Quest work is amazing. Like every time they redo it in 3D, every generation it looks better and better, and it's still the same design. Pretty iconic designs. Hi, kitty cat. What's the matter, bud? My cat getting sort of his zoomies for the day. Probably just because I'm still awake, right? It's my own fault for being awake at this hour. It's pretty late here. What else? Can you pay the cat tax? No. Dude was enormously influential. The whole shape of action cartoons comics would be unrecognizable without him. To truly appreciate his work, you definitely have to read the manga. The anime doesn't make it justice. Well, that is more what I'm familiar with, yeah. It's 4 a.m. on the East Coast. Good Lord. Good Lord. Feel free to go to bed. This will be archived if folks want to read it later. Like I say, I'm just trying to do quick and dirty my pitiful take on one of Toriyama Sensei's characters. I totally agree. I was mentioning that a little while ago when I started. Like, just I love his tech stuff. Sometimes when I would look at the late Kim Jong-gi, I felt like I possibly saw a little bit of influence of Toriyama in his work. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know that for a fact. But even though Kim Jong-il drew in a very realistic style relative to Toriyama, there was just something about the way he approaches tech and machinery that reminded me of Akira Toriyama's work. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be just imagining that. It could be in my head. But I see something there that reminds me. His sci-fi tech is beautiful. It really is. Yeah. I think I'll do some tribute fan art after I've slept. I think that's a lovely idea. I think that sometimes that really can help us come to terms with things like this. It's sad when we lose somebody that we admire. Dude had a thing for capsules, for sure. I can see that. Yeah. From the alien architecture of Namek to the capsule corp tech and video game mecha designs, he was a real influence in that space. I think his latest manga about a desert world involved lots of mech. Yeah. Yes, sand. It's late, and all of a sudden I'm blanking. Help me out here, folks. His latest manga, Sand. Sand what? Sand. Oh my God. Why can't it come to me? It's just not. Oh, I'm getting an update here on what happened. Oh, okay. Apparently he Sandland. Thank you, everyone. Sandland. So he actually turns out he passed away a week ago. We just had it announced tonight, but it turns out he did pass away a week ago. He died from acute subdural hematoma. Oh, that's so scary. That's basically when a bunch of blood just sort of like collects in your brain and like clots or something like that. Oh, God, that's sad. Can happen to any of us. That's heartbreaking. But that is a very Japanese way to do things. Like they will wait on news until they have like sort of all the details and like whether that's just news, like the newspapers over there, or sometimes like when a figure dies, they'll wait for like, family and friends to be notified, and even like work from like a business to sort of be addressed before they announce it to the public. That is a thing that they definitely do over there. Whereas here in America, we always want to break news. We've got a 24-hour news cycle. It's somebody's going to leak it, like when there's something big like that. But over there, they're a little better and more respectful at keeping it quiet for a while. But apparently, it happened back on March 1st, and we're just finding out about it today. Huh. Okay. Whoops. What did I do to the focus there? Sorry. Right here. Come on, camera. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. It I must have gotten in the way or something. Okay. There, that's a little better. Yeah, I'm definitely doing this a little messier than like a lot of what I'll normally do, but just trying to imbue it with some energy. Otherwise, almost what's the point? Plus, I want to show some of these clothes shredding and ripping into weird little pieces. It's kind of fun. A pleasant surprise? It's a surprise. I assume you're talking about me doing a live stream, not I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. But thank you, Bronze Age Nerd. Nice to see you, buddy. Is there any recent manga work you see as being influential as Dragon Ball or One Piece? Yeah, Dragon Ball or One Piece. I mean, well, first of all, One Piece is still going, so like that gets some special consideration. Influential, like, but new. Um, that's a great question. There's a lot of great manga that's newer. Um, let me go ahead and like I'll artificially add the rule that it has to still be going right now, okay? And then what's I'm looking at some of what I've been reading lately that's new. Uh I think that the popularity of Demon Slayer could end up influencing a next generation. I'm not talking about its quality or anything, but it is very popular. So is Jujutsu Kaisen. So I think that Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer will end up being very influential. But as far as like what's coming out right now that I love, definitely like Spy Family for like lighter. And hey, Dr. Slump was on the lighter hand side, so that's valid. If Takahiko Inoue deems to put out something like Real or another issue of Vagabond, I'll give that to it. I know that like if I picked up the latest Shonen Jump over here, I'd see what is it, Kachaburi or Kaba? I can't remember. There's like a new sword one, and Sakamoto Days is really popular. Yeah, it's an interesting question. I just found out about Toriyama. May he rest in peace. I hope so. I hope so. Strange. I'll tell you the one that hit me as far as like relatively recent, like, manga type artists, like as when Kantaro Miura from Berserk, passed away. That one is still hurting me. So it can definitely take a while to deal with this kind of loss. And I know that's parasocial. I don't know these people or anything, but it feels sometimes like you know them after you've been reading their work for so long. I'm glad that Miura's friend and studio are continuing Berserk. It's the closest we can get to closure there. There are still new, what do you call it, Dragon Ball things coming out. Obviously, it's not going to have Toriyama, but you know, it's the closest thing we can get, and that's nice in its own way. So definitely somber. It doesn't help that like it's so late right now where I am. I'm sure that's influencing my sort of somber tone here. Let's see what else is getting asked. I like the brushwork, love the building of form, great work. I don't know about great work. I'm working fast here. I'm working fast, but that's kind of you. Thank you. I will got to learn to take more compliments, and thank you. It's kind of you. I'm sort of making up the rules of this clothing, and I'm not sure if it makes complete sense. But we'll just, you know what? I'm going to commit to it. That's why I'm trying to work mostly in ink on this one. Um, just we'll just commit. Oh, I went out to do some live life drawing personally last night, and that was really fun. And I like doing timed poses with a model because, yeah, you have to commit to your line strokes. You don't have time to revise or think about it too much. So if you work yourself into a bit of a corner with like, some proportions, you just have to find the best way to make it work, but it loosens you up. And I think that that's a good thing. I didn't know he could draw either, but I haven't been subscribed long. I can draw okay here and there. I'm just doodling more than anything else right now. It's late, it doesn't have to make sense, but this will be uploaded forever. When creators we love pass, it can be a major blow. It's healthy to express those feelings and share the love of their work. It can be very cathartic. That's a good word that I was definitely sort of struggling to find tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. Toriyama episode about who he influenced would be dope. I'd love to do it. Don't expect that imminently. I've got a lot on the comic tropes plate, but it would be nice to do. I'll give it some serious thought. This is something I'm just learning about tonight, so I got to give that some serious thought. Flying by the seat of your pants is definitely in the spirit of AT. Oh, Akira Toriyama. Doi, it's late. Uh, It is late. Late is great. The fact that Sonic the Hedgehog owes a great deal of its success to Toriyama just shows how influential Dragon Ball is. I guess I don't know about that piece of history. I'm trying to think that through. I didn't realize that Sonic was inspired by some of Toriyama, but it makes certain sense. Robotnik and all. Yeah, I could see some of that. Wow. Thank you, Jade. That's very kind of you. Didn't mean to make you cry, but thank you. I think Daima has already finished production. Oh yeah, 7 Chaos Emeralds and Supersonic. You're right. That's super in keeping with Dragon Ball. I just wasn't coming to me, but you're right. That totally makes sense. That AT recover was quick. I would have pondered on it for at least an hour. Many manga artists are going to be more sad now that Toriyama has passed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Some people just are respected and beloved for what they've given us, and I think that Toriyama definitely falls in that category. I'll probably wrap this up shortly, folks. This wasn't meant to be anything too deep or anything in terms of a dive into his career, just an opportunity to sketch a little, give a little bit of thought to Toriyama's life and work, and listen to the things that you folks had to say and add to it, which I sincerely appreciate. Right now, I'm sure many of you know a lot more about him than I do. I'm going to, be inspired to do another deep dive into his work at this point, and hopefully I can learn and get something of value out of that. We'll see. We'll see. But just in case you're just joining or you joined after I started, I did say I have already recorded, the next Comic Tropes episode. I'm simply editing it. I'm going as fast as I can. I will have something out soon for that. I'm hoping that I'll have it ready for Sunday. Sunday's the day I like to do a release. I don't know yet. There's a lot to the edit, but I do have something coming. So I appreciate your patience. If you want to be supportive, Patreon, I could definitely use the help there. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded something, so whenever I take a minute like that, folks do kind of bail, which is understandable. But I'm working. I'm always working on the show, is all I can say. So don't worry. I haven't stopped or anything. I don't feel like I've even slowed down. It's just that it takes a little longer sometimes to keep up the quality. And I'm working on several episodes at once, to be fair. So hopefully it won't be long until the next one. But we'll see. Let's see. What else are people saying? Thank you. Cool pick. That's nice of you. Thanks for giving us a little space to hang out and mourn. Yeah, it's the least I can do. It was really enjoyable as a little live. Yeah, I like doing these. I miss the old Comic Tropes jingle. Yeah, I am hustling. Take your time, quality over quantity. Yeah, well, that's what I sort of believe, except that's not how YouTube likes to reward you. They like to see, regular updates. Or they're not going to recommend things to new people, which is what you need to stay alive. So, but I appreciate the sentiment a lot. Thank you. Very kind of you. What does this need? What is it missing? I don't know. Feels like I don't have the white and dark balanced or something. I don't know. I'll just sort of keep at it and for another few minutes and see if I can dig myself out of whatever hole I'm putting myself in. Yeah, I don't know. This is a fun challenge, though. I had a pretty long break, and it basically kills your momentum when you start doing content again. So strange how that works. The letters page from Oda of One Piece and Kishimoto of Naruto were genuinely heartbreaking to read. Oh. A muffin button. I don't know how to draw that well. The algorithm is a cruel thing, no question. Is the lack of nipples a creative decision, or did you forget them? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I forgot. Maybe a bit more darkness around him so the explosion could stand out more. Yes, EU friendly. That's what I'm trying to do here. is cater to my lovely EU viewers. Enough of this local time zone crap, right? Just having fun doodling, guys, and gals and all. Every once in a while, I get quiet when I'm drawing details because I lose track. And yeah, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I just get lost in the detail. It's fun. I don't know. What it's missing most is color. I don't have time for that. What pen is it? Nothing special. This is just a Fudenosuke by Tombow. Fudenosuke. 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 I don't know how you pronounce it necessarily. All right. I've actually considered a Jodorowsky episode. That's something I could do at some point and talk about like how his ideas for Dune did end up in things like the Inkle and Metabarons, things like that. So that is something I could do. We're here to watch you draw more than anything. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Hello, Etienne. Is there an American comic in the same vein as Dragon Ball? Yeah, Invincible. Invincible, definitely, because he's Mark Grayson is an alien, and every time he survives like a battle, as a Viltrumite, he does get stronger. So there is some of that in Invincible. Yes, I think that's the best recommendation. After the Inkle is awful. Okay. Hello, Allison. Thank you for dropping in. Oh yeah, well, Superman, but that's like what came first, chicken or the egg? Can't wait for the next episode. This stream has been great. That's nice of you. I'm glad I found out about Toriyama through someone that has kept me reading so much, and I'm sure many others feel the same way. Yeah, if you don't know about Akira Toriyama, my advice is to stick with the manga for a starting point. There's a lot of it. I like Dr. Slump the most, but I've read some of the early Dragon Ball stuff, and I like that a lot too. And I think that, yes, it's hugely influential. So definitely something worth considering. But that'll do it, I think, for my little drawing. I'll just tilt it that way. I don't know. I think color, might save it a little. It probably doesn't have fantastic shading at all. I could probably black out some of the areas that should be a little more shaded. Whatever. It's a late night sketch, and my cats obviously need some attention. Look, what happened to Toriyama Sensei was unexpected. Again, subdural hematoma. That could happen to anyone. So what can we take from this? A couple things. Let's read some of Toriyama's manga. Jack. Thank you, buddy. Go ahead and read some of Toriyama's work. It's beautiful. Hopefully at some point I can do an episode to help bring you into that or give you some insight that maybe you hadn't thought of yourself. But in the meantime, just remember that, unfortunately, life is delicate, and we don't know. Okay, sorry. I guess this is as good. That's so funny. The camera knew that it was time to end. I was trying to say, and it got lost there. Be kind to your loved ones. Tell them that you love them, because you never know. You never know. And take care of yourself. And tomorrow, just accomplish something. That doesn't have to be something great, but feel like you just accomplished something, whether that's, cooking a healthy meal, getting a few extra steps in, or maybe sketching down some ideas for a creative idea you had. Do something for yourself, because you never know. Or even just call your sister, call your old roommate. It's a short and delicate thing, this life of ours. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciated getting to spend this time with you, thinking about Toriyama Sensei, and good luck to all of us. I will be back real soon with a fully edited episode. Thanks, everybody. Keep reading comics and manga.